Hello everyone. The next topic which we will be studying is about the brain. So, what is human brain? Human brain is one of the most important part of the body. It controls nearly every aspect of the human body ranging from physiological functions to cognitive abilities. It functions by receiving and sending signals via neurons to different parts of the body. So, human brain is a better developed part than any other mammals. So introduction, it is the same which I have told you earlier, that it is one of the main part of the human body that range from physiological functions to the cognitive abilities. It functions by receiving and sending signals via neurons to different parts of the body. And the human brain, it is the most developed part than any other mammal. The human brain. So, on an average, an adult brain weighs about 1.0 kgs to 1.5 kgs. So, it is the weight of the brain. It mainly composed of neurons, which is the fundamental unit of the brain and the nervous system. The recent estimates have suggested that the brain contains anywhere between 86 billion to 1000 billion neurons. So this is the number of neurons that is being estimated till now, that the brain contains this much number of neurons. So the central nervous system, the main part of the central nervous system is the brain only, and it is responsible for thoughts, interpretation, and origin of control for the body movements. So this is all about the human brain. Now we will be discussing the structure of the human brain in detail. Now, as you can see the part that they are being divided into various parts here. So the red portion which you are seeing here, what is it? It is the frontal lobule that is used for the following functions in our brain. First, the problem solving, emotional traits, reasoning, speaking, and voluntary motor activity. So this red part of the brain, it is responsible for these kinds of activities. Then the yellow portion of the brain which is being divided is the parietal lobe. What it does is it is knowing right from left. There is a sensation of there is a sensation, there is a reading which has been responsible for this part of the brain, and there is a body orientation. Then there is a green part of the brain which is called the lobe, that is responsible for vision and the color perception. So this is responsible for this part. Now this is the cerebellum that is being represented at the lower part of the brain. It is responsible for balance, coordination and control of the voluntary movement, and fine muscle control. So this part is responsible for all these activities. Now there is a brain stem which is being depicted here. Now what it does, it is responsible for the breathing, the body temperature, digestion, alertness, sleep, and swelling. So this is the brain stem. And this portion, the large one, the blue one, that is the temporal lobe. It helps to understand the language, behavior, memory, and hearing. So these are responsible for these kinds of functions. So we have divided the brain into the following parts, and each part of the brain performs a specific function which is being depicted in the particular diagram. Now, the next we will be discussing is about the parts of the brain. So the brain has been divided into following parts. Now what are these parts? Forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. So these are the three parts in which the human brain has been divided. Now first I will be talking about the forebrain, which is one of the largest part of the brain, and it is the interior part of the brain. So the forebrain parts include cerebrum, hypothalamus, and thalamus. So these are the three parts in which this is being divided. Now, what is the function of the forebrain, which is considered as the largest part of the brain? It controls the reproductive functions, body temperature, emotions, hunger, and sleep. So these are all the functions of the forebrain. The fact about the forebrain is that it is largest among the forebrain is the cerebellum. So it has been divided into further parts, but out of these three parts, the largest is the cerebellum, and it is the largest part of the vertebrate brain as well. So this is a fact about this forebrain. Now, the midbrain, which is the smallest and the central part of the brain. It has been further divided into two parts, that is the tectum and tegmentum. So these are the two parts about this. The last part which we will be discussing here is about the hindbrain. So it is one of the lower part of the brain, and it is composed of cerebellum, medulla, and pons. So cerebellum, I have shown that in the diagram itself. So it has been divided into these three parts. Now, what is the function of this hindbrain? So the three regions of the hindbrain coordinates all the processes that is necessary for the survival. They will include the breathing, heartbeat, sleep, wakefulness, and motor learning. So this was about the hindbrain. So this was all about the brain. That brain has been divided into three parts. We have discussed the forebrain, the midbrain, and the hindbrain, and we have discussed some of the facts about these and what are these composed of. We have discussed their functions as well. So this was all about it. These are some of the references. Thank you.